Welcome, friends, to our interfaith chant and pray evening. Today is the beginning of the Urs of Pir O Murshid Inayat Khan. His picture is right here, so he's supervising us this evening. His official Urs is the 5th of February. The Urs in the Sufi tradition is celebrated as it's the death day. It's the anniversary of the death of the physical body. But it literally means a union or a wedding day that is celebrated even more than birthdays in the Sufi tradition. And so this is the anniversary of Murshid's death. And so we're focusing all of our chants this evening on the message that he brought to humanity 100 years ago. And I have shaped our program basically around the form of a universal worship service. That we're not going to do the service. I didn't set up an altar with all of the candles and everything, but if you were to read through the order of a service, we would start with the invocation, which we're going to. First we're going to speak it, and then we're going to sing it for a while. And then there would be a couple of Murshid's prayers, psalm. We'll do a song for the prayer psalm. We'll do a song for the prayer salat. We'll do a song for each of a bunch of different faith traditions. That originally the universal worship service was 6 religions of the world on an altar, and we'll do a little bit more than 6 religions, but we'll touch into each of them through song. The focus this evening is simultaneously one on this message of spiritual liberty and the unity of religious ideals. These are phrases that Murshid used a lot to talk about the importance of cultivating understanding, tolerance, and a heartful resonance with each of the different religions of humanity. And also the theme of light and of inviting light into darkness and focusing our hearts on our ideals of light. So we'll start with the invocation, just spoken. Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Amen. So I'll put the words for each of the songs that we're going to sing in the chat window for you if you're new to these Zoom gatherings. Oh, nobody's new to these. I don't need to say anything about how this works. Okay, so the words for the invocation are in the chat window for you now. And the melody that we're going to visit this evening is from the primary mover and shaker of the dances of universal peace and various forms of Ruhaniyat Sufism along the Front Range in Colorado, Timothy Dobson, who was my dance mentor and my introduction to the dances so many years ago. And I put the chords that I'm likely to be playing in the chat window, so if you'd like to play along, you are welcome to. And this one is all in major chords, so going G, C, and G for most of it. And the music for any of the prayers, music just helps wake up the heart and inspire us and invite us onward toward the beloved. That's what does it. Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Toward the One, the perfection of love, Michael. I'm so glad you're with us. Putting your sweet missives in the chat window for us. Okay. In honor of the prayer Psalm, we'll be doing just this one tiny little line in English, which is pour upon us thy love and thy light. I'm sorry, I didn't put it in the window correctly. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on a second. Thy love and thy light. And then Allahu, Allahu. And Rahima and I will be able to sing either one or two pieces of this at a time. And I think that will probably be the limit of it. But for those of you out there in Zoomland who are ambitious and I don't know, I guess who don't have housemates, that you can get crazy about this. You can do this as, let's see, a 6-part round if you want to, but you don't have to. You can just stick with any one of the parts you want to. So we'll start with Allahu, 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 and then we'll bring in the line from the prayer psalm. Pour upon us thy love and thy light. So you can really bring in either of those melodies anywhere you want, and it'll be fun. Okay. Allahu, 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 And we'll jump from the prayer psalm to the prayer salat. And for this one, we'll sing the English line from the prayer is, "As the light filleth the crescent moon." And then interwoven with that, we have a bunch of names for the divine feminine. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. So since we're not doing the dance for it tonight, we'll do however many repetitions of each one we want and just switch whenever we feel like it, and you are welcome to do the same. If you're playing along at home, I'm playing my open tuned guitar right now, but that is in C. So you could play an A minor with capo on the 3rd fret if you're playing a standard guitar or ukulele, and that'll do you just fine for the whole thing. Okay. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. 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 Isis, Hey, look who else joined us. Hello, Uta. Isn't it like 4 a.m. for you? Hello, Baraka. Hello, Mo. Hello, Solomon. Hello, Rakiba. Hello, Themis. Well, we get double merrily. Hello, double merrily. Merrily, merrily. Merrily, merrily. Always at least double for merrily. Okay. So, originally, the Universal Worship Service included 6 specific faith traditions, and Murshid was not limiting it to 6, but that was the form that he originally gave. And since that time, that was 101 years ago, 101 of those years ago was the first Universal Worship Service that Murshid offered. And since that time, this service has been presented, shared, embodied, expressed, offered in a lot of different communities around the world. And it is common these days for communities to include different faith traditions, depending on the moment in time, the place, the people, all of the things that make it relevant and important and respectful. And so it is very common these days for there to be a candle included for the Divine Feminine, or for there to be a candle included for the indigenous peoples of a particular place, or a particular faith tradition if there happens to be some people present, or even a person present from a particular faith tradition that was not originally represented. So there's some shuffling of the candles, some including of new candles, and many of you along the Front Range have been with Timothy Dobson. This is the second time he's coming up this evening. And he does what is called the Kindling Ceremony in the center of all of the dances at the Star House that are the deeper dances, in which he lights candles on, he and someone, there are a couple people, this beautiful contemplative ritual of lighting candles on a candelabra that has 16 different candles. So there are 16 different lights that are kindled from the same flame, and which is excellent. And the last one is always lit to represent those that are known and unknown. So it includes all of the wisdom traditions that have served humanity throughout time. So for this evening, the first musical candle that we're going to light is in honor of the indigenous wisdom. And specifically, this is attuned to and comes from the Guarani peoples in South America. That I could say that it is primarily in this or that country, but the way that things go with indigenous peoples is that it's not about an arbitrary line that's drawn on a map. And so it is common that you'll find indigenous peoples that are in the land of different countries now, and that's not important. It's about the earth. So Guarani, I'll just say South America, because there are multiple countries that could say, yep, there's Guarani here too. So let me have a sip of tea and then I'll tell you about the words. That was more of a glug than a sip, sorry. So we'll be saying Tembe Upora, Tembe Upora, Awajerete, Awajerete, Tembe Upora. And this is translated or indicates, it's always tricky to say something is translated. The indication here is saying that we are awakening the light that is within us and within all things. And the Awajerete is said to mean that all that we receive, all the gifts are sacred. So attuning to this quality of awakening, kindling, rising the light. And this one, you can add harmony lines, you can put it into a round, you can add any kind of vocal joy that is useful for you. Tembe upora, awajerete, awajerete, tembe upora. 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 Tembe upora. I always want to sing that one forever. If you're still singing it, carry on. You can. You could even just turn off the Zoom now so you don't have to hear anything else. You can just keep singing that forever.
You're probably going to have it in your head tomorrow morning. It's catchy.
Okay. So this one is the musical candle for Hinduism. And this is from the Upanishads. There are 3 distinct lines, and the Om is at the very beginning. That is just tuning our awareness and attuning to all of existence. Om. And then these 3 lines are each a transition. So we're saying Asato Ma Sat Gamaya, which means take us from falsehood into truth. So at the beginning, when you see Sat, that means not true. And then when you see Sat by itself, that means true. So take us from what is not true to what is true. Second line is Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya. Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya. That is saying, take us from darkness into light. And then the third is Mrityorma Amritan Gamaya. This one is a little bit of a linguistic flip, but it means take us from death to not death, or take us from death to immortality, to the absence of death. So, and at the end of this, we'll include Shanti, that is peace. I didn't put that on the words because it's not officially part of the mantra, but it is the appropriate way to end probably any mantra. I should be careful about saying any mantra, but a lot of them, if not all of them. Okay, so for this rhythm, I think we'll do this as a practice where we put the whole mantra together as a call and echo, and then we'll focus on just one line at a time for 7 repetitions, and then we'll come back to the whole mantra as a call and echo, and then the next line with 7 repetitions. So of course there are a lot of different ways that we can approach and utilize any of these sacred phrases. So I was just trying to decide which way we should do it tonight. So if you wish, please repeat after me each of these lines as we go through it, and we'll probably go through it maybe 4 times as a call and echo. Om Masato Masat Gamaya. Om Masato Masat Gamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. And then we'll repeat 7 times. Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya. 2 more. Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya. Repeat after me. Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Om Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya 7 times. Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya. 2 more. Tamaso ma Now for something completely different. Are you ready, Judy, for something completely different? Okay. Okay. For the musical candle of the Buddhist tradition. I'm reluctant to call it a religion, I guess. There are some Buddhist religions. I don't know that you'd call them the Buddhist religion. The Buddhist path. Gosh, did I do that right? Okay. So we'll sing in English, and this is an English interpretation, translation of a very common, beautiful prayer for well-being in the Buddhist tradition along the Buddhist path. So in English we'll sing, "May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from sorrow and the causes of sorrow." And then this one is really good grammar, but it's fun to sing. "May all beings never be separated from the great happiness that's sorrowless, sorrowless, sorrowless." Rahima's already smiling over here. Excuse me. Then we'll sing, "Light of the world. Just as long as I live in this world, I am the light of the world. Just as long as I live in this world, I am the light of the world." I'm trying to make this so I can see what I need to see and also be able to see all of you and the chat window. So if you're lost, why did I do that? Because I wanted to find the guitar chords to show you how to play along with me if you want to. There you go. Mostly majors. Is that why you're smiling? Because it's mostly majors.
That's a whole lot of chords.
Oh. Yeah, they're pretty easy.
They are, sure.
All right. I only play easy chords. So if I'm playing it, you can play it. Here we go. Oh, there's a last line. You'll hear it when it comes around. Okay. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from sorrow and the causes of sorrow. May all beings never be separated from the great happiness that's sorrowless, sorrowless, sorrowless. Light of the world, just as long as I live in this world, I am the light of the world. Just as long as I live in this world, I am the light any fun at all, was it? We'll do something fun next time.
I'm so happy.
Oh, sorry. Who was that?
It's Mo. I'm so happy.
Oh, sweet. Hi, Mo. Oh, okay. Let's see. Where do we go next? Judaism, of course. Let's see. I keep needing to scroll back and forth in my document because I organized it poorly. But but I do have the lyrics ready for you. I just have to go and find them each time. Sorry about that. Okay. So for this one is also a round. If you wish to put it in a round, we'll probably be able to do 2 parts over here. We'll either do 1 part or 2 parts. Probably not more than that. We're going to sing Shalom, Shalom, Alleluia. Shalom means peace, and Alleluia means Alleluia. It means praise God, but usually we don't even bother translating it. We're like, it just has its meaning, and we all feel it, and we just know what it means. And then Shemayim Ethata, that is saying, Shemayim is the word that indicates heaven or the atmosphere of light. And then Ethfata is the opening. It's the same as in the Arabic. And so we're opening our own hearts to the awareness of this shimmering light of the divine presence all around, all the time. And then finishing with Amen, Amen. And I think that I'm just going to play an A minor and G through the whole thing, but we'll see if that feels like a good pitch for our voices this evening. Don't get attached to this key yet, friends. We'll see how it goes. Shalom, shalom, alleluia. Shalom, shalom, alleluia. Shemayim, Ethfata, Ethfata. Shemayim, Ethfata, Ethfata. Amen, 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 amen. Yeah, we're not going to sing it that high. I think once was good at that pitch, don't you think? And Georgiana's like, I'm going to sing it right there, whether you put it lower or not. So I'm going to try it, putting a capo on the 3rd fret, and I'm going to play E minor and D instead, and we'll see how that goes. Shalom, shalom, alleluia. Shalom, shalom, alleluia. Shemayim, Ethfata, Ethfata. Shemayim, Ethfata, Ethfata. Amen, 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 amen. Shalom, shalom, alleluia. Shalom, shalom, your little Zoom windows keep shuffling around. So each time I bop around to see who's here, y'all have moved around. Like you went to go have tea with your friend in the next Zoom room or something. I can tell that that's what happened because Judy and Polly are right next to each other on... That's the giveaway, those two. Okay, this next one is a little bit unusual for an attunement to the musical candle of the Christian religion. But it makes sense to me. This is a chant to Mother Mary, where we say, I should tell you a little bit about it before we sing it. No, I shouldn't, because we don't have much time, and we just need to sing. We have lots of songs yet to do. We're going to sing, She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with the snakes, she stands on the moon. We'll sing that 3 times, and then Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. Hello, Carly. I think we invoked you with this Mary ditty. Then there's so we'll sing that part. That serves kind of as like a chorus. We'll keep coming back to that. But then there's a verse which says, touch me with your hands of light, crown of stars to bless the night. Mother Mary, give me sight that I may see. And then back to She walks with snakes. So this was a chant that was written by a very witchy goddess woman, Marie Summerwood, and all of this image-oriented attunement to Mother Mary was her very goddessy perspective of coming back into good relation with this really deep goddess figure of the Christian church. So enjoy. Yeah. Ready? Mm-hmm. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. Touch me with your hands of light, crown of stars to bless the night. Mother Mary, give me sight that I may see. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. Touch me with your hands of light, crown of stars to bless the night. Mother Mary, give me sight that I may see. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. Touch me with your hands of light, crown of stars to bless the night. Mother Mary, give me sight that I may see. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. Touch me with your hands of light, crown of stars to bless the night. Mother Mary, give me sight, that I may see. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the last time. Touch me with your hands of light, crown of stars to bless the night. Mother Mary, give me sight, that I may see. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. She walks with snakes, she stands on the moon. Mary, 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 Mary stands on the moon. Oh, Mo, I'm so glad you're having a good time with us tonight. Okay, where to now? So we're going to touch into Hazrat Piro Murshid Inayat Khan's melodic zikr as an attunement to the musical candle of Islam. I think most of you are very familiar with this. And so we'll be saying La ilaha illallahu. And you're welcome to join us in the movements for it as well, if you wish. That is sweeping the heart from the left shoulder across and up to the right, and then up, coming straight down into the solar plexus, and then coming up a bit before intoning the hu into your heart, so tipped a little bit to your own left. I have two different sets of chords prepared for you because I'm not sure which ones are going to be the best ones for our vocal cords tonight. We're going to start with this one, but I'm going to put my capo on the 3rd fret. Oh, it's already there. I'm just going to leave it there. This is what I'm going to do. So, in honor of the musical candle of the spirit of guidance and the Sufi message, we'll sing this prayer from Murshid that is called the Prayer for the Universal. And the Universal is both a concept, an idea, and also a living reality in the world. That there was a vision that Murshid had of having a physical space that was a chapel, a temple, a physical building that would accommodate all of the world's religions coming together to worship together in peace and brotherhood. He would have used the word brotherhood, so I'm going to use that word too, even though we know it's not gender specific. And in whether there is a physical building for this accommodation or not, there is the space within our hearts, within our awareness and our intentions for all of the world's wisdom religions to dwell together in peace, in harmony. So toward that end, this prayer: O thou who art the maker, molder, and builder of the universe, build with thine own hands the universal, our temple for thy divine message of love, harmony, and beauty. We'll see how this key is. I might need to change it. Oh, thou who art the maker, molder, and builder of the universe, build with thine own hands the universal, our temple for thy divine message of love, harmony, and beauty. while we're at it, these are the 3 affirmations that Murshid gave for the 3 different times a day of doing prayers. That when he first started teaching and guiding Marids, guiding students on the spiritual path, he started out encouraging people to do the 5 times a day prayer, and then realized that Westerners are not that motivated, and so he changed it to 3 times a day prayers, and offered these suggestions for what prayers to be done in the morning, at midday, and in the evening. And part of those sets of prayers was an affirmation to be repeated 11 times. And so this goes through each of those 3 affirmations, but we're just going to sing them all together because music. So we'll start by singing, "May the message of God spread far and wide." We'll sing it twice, but we'll probably go through the song at least 5 or 6 times, which will get us the 11 recitations of each of the affirmations. Okay, so the first one is, "May the message of God spread far and wide." Then, "Pour upon us thy love and thy light. Pour upon us thy love and thy light. Disclose to us thy divine light. Disclose to us thy divine light. Amen." I think I'm just going to play A minor and G, so I'm not going to bother putting it in there. If I change what I'm doing, I'll let you know, but right now I'm playing A minor and G through the whole thing. May the message of God spread far and wide. May the message of God spread far and wide. Pour upon us thy love and thy light. Pour upon us thy love and thy light. Disclose to us thy divine light. Disclose to us thy divine light. Amen. May the message of God spread far and wide. May the message Oh, hello, Ashera. Okay, friends. Home stretch of our chant in honor of the Urs of Hazrat Piro Murshid Inayat Khan. That guy. Let's see. We have 2 more ditties to round out the service for sure. We'll see if we have time for a 3rd one, but this one is from the prayer Khatum, which is part of the evening set of prayers that Murshid gave, but it's also used as a closing blessing of completion on the service. It's on the universal worship service itself at whatever time of day that happens. And we often use it at the end of our zikrs in wherever we are. I was going to say in Denver, but it's wherever we are. So this takes one line from the prayer Khatum, which is, raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide us. We'll sing that a couple of times. And then raise us above, Amen, Amen. And we'll intersperse it with the zikr phrase of La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. I have to go find the chords for you again. Oh, did I put them in here? Oh, there they are. Okay. Just a moment while I find them for you. It's all A, D, and E, but not always in that order. Going into the chat window for you. This is a melody from our friend Petaluma Livelli. We come back to this one a lot because we just love it so much. This one is often echoing around in our home. Raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide us. Raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide us. Raise us above, raise us above. Amen, Amen. Raise us above. Can you hear that laughter? My children are visiting. My old, tall children that are, for another few minutes, 24 and 26 years old children. And one of them is down in the lower level of the house laughing a lot and quite loudly. I'm not complaining about that at all. I'm just explaining with delight in case you can hear it. Like, wow, there's maniacal laughter happening. Yes, indeed. Okay, so our closing song this evening is the benediction that is the final blessing that Murshid gave for the end of the Universal Worship Service. And so this wouldn't normally have been done either spoken or sung as a group, that it was intended to be spoken only by the officiating Shirag, the minister who is performing the service, offering the service. And the congregation would be simply receiving the blessing. But, in the tradition of the dances of universal peace, there is no spectator sport. It is full participation, and everyone does all the things. So the words are in the chat window for you. And let's see. I'll try to show you my guitar chords, but I don't want to put them in the chat window right now. I'm mostly playing A minor, G, and A minor, and then I'll also include a D minor sometimes. Okay. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide with you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide with you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide with you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. One more time. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide with you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. With great appreciation and respect for Piro Murshid Inayat Khan and for all of the great teachers who have brought the message of God to help guide and encourage humanity toward more love, more compassion, more keen awareness, a more peaceful and harmonious existence within ourselves and with each other.